Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so if you've ever found yourself squinting at the tiny print on the back of a medicine bottle, reading through that frankly massive, intimidating list of side effects, you've probably wondered, how on earth can something that's designed to heal us also have the potential to harm us? Well, today we're going to dive straight into the fascinating and, yes, sometimes a little troubling science behind those exact side effects. It's totally captivating to break down complex topics like this. Because honestly, once you understand the machinery inside your own body, those crazy warning labels actually start making perfect logical sense. To kick things off, let's take a look at a massive hurdle in the world of pharmacology: 33%. Now, take a quick second and guess what that number actually represents. Is it the number of people who get a side effect? Maybe the number of times a drug is prescribed incorrectly? Well, not quite. This number actually represents a monumental roadblock in the drug development pipeline. Yep, a whopping 33% of all drugs fail in development purely because they are toxic to the body. Just think about that. That means literally 1/3 of all the potential miracle cures, pain relievers, and cutting-edge treatments that scientists work on for years, well, they never even make it to your pharmacy shelf. They just fail outright in preclinical and clinical stages because they trigger dangerous responses. Understanding how to navigate this toxicity, that's easily one of the single biggest challenges in pharmaceutical science today. So, today we're following a clear roadmap. We'll be looking at 1. The drug development hurdle. 2. What are adverse reactions? 3. Type A, predictable and preventable. 4. How good drugs cause harm. 5. Type B, unpredictable immune responses. And finally, 6. Making medicine safer. Let's get right into it. Section 2. What are adverse reactions? Right, so to start, an adverse drug reaction, or ADR for short, isn't just some random freak accident. Actually, it's an acknowledged, totally unwanted effect that happens when you take a medication. Now, this could be from just a single pill, or it could happen from how a bunch of different drugs interact with each other inside your system. The real key here is that it's associated with the drug. Basically, it's the unavoidable biochemical reality of putting that specific chemical into your body's highly complex biological machinery. So here's the crucial point. ADRs essentially split into a tale of two reactions. On one hand, we've got type A reactions. Now think of type A as the bully. It's super predictable, it scales right up depending on the dose you take, and ironically, it's actually directly related to what the drug is supposed to do in the first place. On the other hand, we have type B. You can think of type B as the ninja. It is completely unpredictable, way harder to foresee, and it includes things like bizarre drug allergies and your immune system just getting hijacked out of nowhere. Moving on to Section 3, Type A, predictable and preventable. Because type A reactions are really just extensions of what the drug is already supposed to be doing, they actually account for a massive 70 to 80% of all toxic responses. That's a huge chunk. But the good news? They are highly predictable and usually completely preventable. Why? Well, because they are entirely dependent on the dose you take. Let's say a drug is designed to lower your blood pressure. A type A adverse reaction would be your blood pressure dropping too low. See? It's just the drug doing its job, but maybe, just a little too aggressively. Let's look closer at this in Section 4, how good drugs cause harm. Let's look at how everyday NSAIDs, like that ibuprofen you probably have sitting in your medicine cabinet right now, actually work. If you follow this pathway, NSAIDs block enzymes called COX-1 and COX-2. This stops your body from creating these signaling molecules called prostaglandins. Now, that's absolutely great for you, because fewer prostaglandins literally mean less pain and inflammation in, say, a swollen ankle. But, and here's the catch, your body absolutely needs those exact same prostaglandins to protect the mucosal lining of your stomach. So by relieving your pain, the drug predictably causes stomach irritation. It's a textbook type A reaction right there. Similarly, let's look at cholesterol-lowering drugs, like lovastatin. Statins inhibit a specific enzyme to stop cholesterol synthesis. But in doing so, they also change a compound called mevalonate, which in turn reduces things called isoprenoids. Now, why does that matter to us? Well, your cells use those isoprenoids essentially as traffic signals for communication, specifically for something called GT-PACE cell signaling. This metabolic traffic jam predictably causes muscle pain in 10 to 15% of people taking statins. And in a super rare 0.1%, it causes a severe, life-threatening muscle breakdown known as rhabdomyolysis. Again, it's dose-dependent and fundamentally tied to how the drug works. All right, shifting gears, Section 5, Type B, unpredictable immune responses. Unlike our first group, Type B reactions make up about 20% of ADRs. And honestly, here is the scary part. They are completely unrelated to the dose. You could take just a tiny fraction of a pill and still trigger a massive reaction. These reactions trick your body's immune system into attacking itself through hypersensitivities, or they can even trigger severe non-allergic responses like myelosuppression, which is basically when your bone marrow just stops making blood cells. Because they are so unpredictable during clinical trials, post-market monitoring of drugs is absolutely essential to catch these type B responses out in the real world. To really understand the allergic side of type B reactions, we kind of have to look at the immune alphabet. Your immune system has this incredible arsenal of different antibody classes: IgA, IgG, IgM, IgD, and IgE. These guys act as circulating sentinels, and they are what actually dictate the specific type of allergic response your body will unleash when it thinks it's encountered a dangerous invader. Let's take the world's most prescribed antibiotic, penicillin, and see how this builds into an allergy. So, a penicillin molecule all on its own is actually too small to cause an immune response. Scientists call this a hapten. It's harmless by itself. But once it enters your body, it forms covalent bonds with much larger nearby proteins. This binding process is called haptenation. And suddenly, this new penicillin protein complex is huge. Your immune system spots it, totally freaks out, and triggers reactions that can range from just a mild, annoying, itchy rash to full-blown, life-threatening anaphylactic shock. So, how do we handle this? Section 6, Making Medicine Safer. Well, to tame those predictable type A reactions, researchers do an absolutely incredible amount of math and biology before a drug ever even gets close to hitting the market. They rigorously document the pharmacokinetics, which is just a fancy way of saying how the drug moves through your body, and the pharmacodynamics, which is what the drug actually does to your cells. By analyzing all this complex data, they establish a therapeutic index and a margin of safety. Basically, they're calculating the exact sweet spot where a drug gives you maximum healing with the absolute minimum toxicity. But as always, here's the curveball: human genetics. We all have specific enzymes in our liver and GI tract, like CYP3A4 or CYP2D6, that are responsible for metabolizing these drugs. But because of tiny genetic variations called genetic polymorphisms, your enzymes might work way slower or way faster than mine do. And what this means is that a perfectly calculated, totally safe dosage of a statin for one person could actually build up in the bloodstream and become highly toxic for someone else sitting right next to them. Knowing that a simple genetic polymorphism can completely change your body's reaction leaves us with one incredibly fascinating, provocative question to end on. If our individual DNA dictates our specific risk of toxic side effects, is personalized DNA-based medication the only way to truly eliminate adverse drug reactions forever? I mean, just imagine a world where your doctor literally swabs your cheek before prescribing a simple painkiller. It's a pretty amazing thought, and it really highlights just how uniquely complex your body truly is. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.